guys, welcome to a new episode of Creative in Focus. And today guys, we have a special guest, Kyle from Dome Studios, so DOAM. So without further ado, let me just Kyle, introduce yourself.
Alright, I mean you've already called my name out.
Yeah, but they know like up a bit lah. Like
okay,
after
okay.
Kyle was that.
Right, so I'm actually a photographer. I am 27 years old too.
Yeah, he doesn't look 27 by the way.
How old do you think I am actually?
If you guys are watching in YouTube, right, if you look at his face, right, he doesn't look 27. He looks like below 25, around the age.
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, besides being a photographer, I'm actually an educator as well. And I co-own this studio.
Alright.
If you want to rent this studio, just look for me, okay? We'll leave some details down there below.
Like, okay, so you see pictures popping up like.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yes. I have no idea what you're gonna ask me, so I'm gonna have to ask you to guide me through this whole session.
Okay. No worries, man. Like, okay, so I believe that because you are a very good talker, and I know that you might be like a bit stressed out right now. It's like, what am I supposed to talk? But you know, since you're a lecturer,
Yep.
you're well prepped of this, right?
No, I literally just woke up 1 hour ago before the whole thing, and then it's like, I just have to drive over here. Not
By the
saying
way,
that.
he came late, guys. He came late, I was there early, but he came late.
No. We arrived in time.
Yeah, okay. Alright.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so you know what? Before we start, like, what's happening right now? Like, what's new in your life right now?
What's new? New is probably what happened like 3-4 months ago when the whole COVID season happened.
Okay. I haven't seen you like for what? Like, disclaimer, I was here during the COVID season, but I came in prepared, like, you know, sanitized glove and everything, but I didn't see this guy for like 2 months.
Right. So like, what's new is, I mean, business is kind of slow. So when business is slow, you kind of develop your own personal skill sets. So for me, I think for Zach also, my other business partner, he and I are learning Japanese. That's one thing. For me, I try to look at some photography business tutorials.
Okay.
Then there's always coffee. You know, I'm
learning how to do coffee.
I started back in February before the whole COVID season started, and right now I'm just continuing the whole journey. Yeah, so those are the new things for me besides already teaching and already doing photography projects here and there. Okay. And yeah, so those are the new things.
So you talk about Japanese, right? Like, how fluent are you right now?
Terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah, so to all the Japanese speakers,
Konnichiwa.
you're gonna whack me, but I've been learning for like about a month or so, and everything was free. That I learned it through an app. Called Duolingo.
Which explains all the writing on the...
Yeah, so my business partner Zach doesn't really go through the Duolingo system. He goes through the YouTube system where he follows a single sensei and learns all the theories and all the background behind the language. But for me, it's like I'm going to trust the Duolingo system here and I'm going to learn through the things step by step. So my hiragana is kind of okay. Like,
what is hiragana?
So hiragana is the alphabets of Japanese, but there's alphabet version 1. Okay.
So, that's a lot of versions.
Yeah. So the second version is for, let's say, names. So in Japanese language, they use katakana to the second version of the alphabets to represent special names, like apple. So it's like Apporu or something like that, you know, or Kyle is a Karu. So the whole system there is different. Then after that, you have a third version of the Japanese alphabet, which is kanji. So kanji would be more on they're literally Chinese characters.
Okay, so you were very occupied during the 3 months.
I'm just doing stuff that
to keep you busy,
just to keep myself busy. I'm still doing it now, so I feel like it's kind of good.
So speaking of like lecture, right? So do you want to mention like where do you lecturing or what?
Okay, so I am guest lecturing in...
you're VIP.
Guest lecturing in the One Academy right now.
One Academy, okay.
Yes.
That was, if I recall back, that was your own university, right?
Yes. So I do have more background in lecturing actually. When I graduated back in 2015,
Okay.
I went through a small little internship, and after that, my lecturer asked me, "Hey, do you want to teach and also do photography at the same time?" So I was like, "Yeah, I better take this opportunity because I don't know if I'm gonna ever do photography as a
Career.
a career
Okay.
if I don't choose this."
Okay, 5 years later, he started a career.
Still going strong at it, I guess.
Yeah.
So at that time, the college, the university spat me out because I just graduated and swallowed me back in. So back in 2016, I was already lecturing.
Oh shit.
Lecturing and
How old were you when
photography.
you started lecturing?
23, 24.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
Were you the youngest lecturer
Yes,
then?
I was.
Wow.
In the department.
Okay,
Yes.
I think the ladies will be like, oh, it's Kyle's class, let's go.
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I don't ask for their opinions.
So
anyway.
why do you decided to do lecturing rather than just going for doing photography?
I mean, it's just I've been okay. So let's go back even further. While I was teaching, while I was studying, I was also already teaching. But I was teaching little kids how to draw.
Ah, that's
So
cool.
and even when I was studying, I went back to my high school's photography club to also teach.
Wow.
So I have this weird history with teaching, and I kind of told myself and told the people around me, it's like, I don't mind teaching. I really don't mind teaching. I kind of love sharing. It's like the kind of sessions we're having right now. We're basically sharing each other's experiences.
Yep.
So I like to do that, and I hope I can benefit people through different sorts of sharing.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
So
dude, that's cool, man.
Okay,
No
not
wonder
too bad.
you keep sharing stuff with me, bro, how do you take this shot? Why do you take this? Come to the studio, I teach you. It's like, okay, not bad, not bad.
That's just me lah. So
Okay.
that has been built into me already.
Okay, that's cool, man.
Yeah, I guess that answers your question, right?
So is that So I think because of that, you're still teaching at this moment, still in one academy, is it?
Yeah, like my current teaching gig. Last year, my lecturer asked me again, "Hey, can you kind of replace your other lecturer because the other lecturer is looking to expand his career in other ways other than just teaching.
Okay.
So he's letting go of this subject. Hey, do you want to take on teaching photography? Since you are already doing photography, so it's like, hey, yeah, why not? It provided a good opportunity for me to actually go back to the education line. So yeah, here I am. So I'm this is my second semester going back already.
Cool. So I think every uni, right, they have this cool lecturer that dressed up cool and comes in cool. I think you're that department of lecturers.
I don't know lah. I try to be lah.
It's lecturer, but also he has a career outside the uni as well.
I think it's important to I'm not trying to shit on some of these other lecturers that when they just graduated and went straight into teaching. Sure, they might be able to teach, but that's what happened to me. When I just graduated, I went back to teach. So I felt like I owe the students something because I'm teaching back what I learned when I was studying.
Yep.
Now the thing is, I would like to enrich them with experiences from the outside world.
Yeah.
So they say something about you go out into the world to slay dragons, and slaying these dragons, then you take back the treasure and kind of distribute back the wealth to your village, right?
Yep.
So I think that it should be the case. If let's say I've never went out from the village, and then it's like I kind of distribute the stuff I made in the village. It's like, oh, they're just getting bread.
Yeah.
They're not getting meat. They're not getting dragon meat.
I mean that's a good metaphor because what is wrong with the current system, right? Not talking about doctors or whoever really needs the education, but in terms of creative field, right?
Yeah.
They don't learn anything in uni. For my own example, 20 or 30% of the time, right? I only learn a bit of the things that I learned in uni, but most of the time when I did freelance job or when I went did free work for my lecturers, production houses. So that's where I started learning all the real stuff of filmmaking, photography, animation.
Yeah.
But by the way, I come from an animation background as well.
Yes.
So I kind of understand where you're coming from, going out there, getting experience and coming back teaching. So I kind of feel like, what's your purpose already lah?
Yeah. Do you see yourself teaching in the future?
I mean, at the moment, the YouTube channel I'm doing is actually teaching people.
That's good. That's great.
I don't go for the traditional way, like going back in like college. If I would love to go, like, you know, get some talks or whatever, but what I see myself in the near future, right? Like, let's say, other than doing this film or doing as a profession, but I do love to teach people because I want to change the market landscape of the whole Malaysia.
Okay.
Because that's the whole point of this podcast, like, it's just to educate the new up and coming creative people who wanted to make this as a career. But what I see is that when I started out, it took me 4 to 5 years all by myself. When I ask help from other people, they usually reject me, or they usually say that, no point you doing this, you won't succeed. So I want to, like, you know, break down that stupid wall and then give a like an uphold platform for the up and coming creators.
Yeah. So I guess these days I've been trying to say the kind of value I want to give back to people is okay. So we try to understand there are things you know.
Yep.
There are things you know you don't know.
Yep.
There are things you don't know you know.
Yep.
And there are things you don't know you don't know.
Yeah. So that's why I'm doing this podcast, guys, because I don't know everything.
Yeah.
Because if you see my YouTube channel, right, I only teach what I know, or I only teach what I experience.
Yes.
Yep.
So like I guess this is where the conversation comes in. It's like I wish to impart things that people don't know they don't know. That's the most valuable thing that I feel like people can receive from educators. So I wish to continue doing that.
Nice. Okay, cool. So how long you been doing photography as a career?
Okay, so while I was still studying, like you came from an animation background, but you went into video. I came from a graphic design background, and I went into photography.
Okay.
Right. So when I was in high school, I unofficially started my photography career or my photography journey because I had a friend who loves photography also, and he said he wants to establish a photography club.
Okay.
And it was like, he dragged me in because that time I was already artistically inclined. So I did like the t-shirts, I did like a logo design for the club.
Okay.
And but I was artistically inclined, but not necessarily photographically declined. But I had a chance to go and try out to hold a camera and understand what it means to.
So what was your first camera?
My first camera.
If you still remember lah.
It's like a S. It's a Canon S90 PowerShot, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know S80 or S90.
So okay, like do you consider yourself as a major Canon fanboy or Nikon?
I've never used any other brands personally, like.
Okay.
As in, I never own other brands, but I've used like a Panasonic.
Finally, guys, like finally I got a Canon user to talk to, because most of the people I talk to, right, either they use Sony, Nikon, or Sony.
What kind of people are you hanging out with? Canon people are plenty. They're actually plenty.
Just I don't know anybody Canon, like those of you listening.
Do you want me to hook you up to some people?
Yeah, man, like, bring me to the Canon family, so I won't be like, moving to Sony.
Right. Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. So okay, like since high school until now, like that means like 8 to 10 years, almost 10 years.
About there.
Wow, so a decade of doing photography as a career.
Yeah, and I still find that I'm still learning quite a bit. Like there are always gaps in photography. If let's say you focus on just let's say fashion photography, then you will get your mastery maybe done in like 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
But my trajectory has been very weird because I started off with street photography. After that, I went into events.
Okay.
And after that, I kind of dabble with like a little bit of studio. Then I dabble with product. Then after that, when I got out, then I'm doing travel.
Okay.
Then right now, I'm like thinking maybe I want to go into journalism.
Okay.
Yeah. So the kind of stuff. I'm everywhere. Like so, my mastery of things is I have knowledge in every pocket.
Yeah.
But then each pocket will have its own pocket of gap.
Yeah, it means like only you learn 20 or 30%, something like that lah.
Something like that lah.
Yeah. But I understand where you're coming from, because you say street event. I don't think it's like unnormal, because it's very normal, because I started at that as well. I was going through street first, then I went to event, then I went to fashion, like street fashion. Then I went to runway photographer. Then I went then I went to event back again. Then I went to wedding. Then I just quit because I kind of like You know, because all the time when I'm doing, right, I always have the urge to, press the record button.
Okay.
So I kind of feel like, you know what, taking photos is, I like it, but it's not what I want to like make it as a career. Because every time, right, I love to record. Like, Canon, they have like record button, right?
Yeah.
So I always go for that record button. I don't know why. So you know what, like after this kind of doing this, let me do videos like that. After like 5 years later, like boom, a video production.
So your career has been influenced by your habit of pressing the
Yeah, I'm not a man, just legit because I love to express myself in videos. It's just photos I feel like I don't know like I can express that much in a photo. One of the other reasons why I decided to convert to videos because of when I was starting out doing as a freelancer, I always get this problem is that why are you charging 500? I can find other people charging 100 ringgit just to do the same job. So I always have that price wall every time because I realized that there's a lot of competitive market out there. And if you want to stand out, you need to do something different. So at the time, I was offering video as well. And it's just like slowly generated. You know what? Video making more money. Why not?
It's kind of true. Do you want to talk about that? Like, because in Dome Studio right here, we do provide photo and videos.
Yeah.
And I'm the person, I'm basically the photography department. I'm one person and I run all the photography department.
I think that one we can talk after the topic that I want to share. Talk about today is that.
We'll just bookmark that. And
go so because you said you had like a decade of photography experience, right?
Yeah.
So I want to share just share with us what are the common mistakes that photographers do, or like in this case you say the mistake and they should avoid it.
Okay.
I know there's a lot of mistakes, but just let's break it down to at least 3 mistakes. The most harshest mistake you've done and you should avoid.
I feel like they're not necessarily mistakes. They're all like kind of learning processes. I identified one, I put it in my brain already. The other two,
Okay, so let's talk about the first one first.
Okay, well, hopefully I'll generate the second and third one, right?
Hopefully it's just running in the background.
Yeah, okay, so I feel like photographers, like we're kind of talking about photographers who are slightly more than beginner already. Like they know their basics already. But
those who are looking to start this as a career.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're looking to start it as a career.
Yeah.
This is my opinion, right? Yes, get your technical skills solid. It should always be the foundation there.
Yeah.
But after that, right, I think some people just kept focusing on technicals, that they forgot to think about why photography matters, So like for my case, I try to encourage people to say this, photography is not about what's in your camera, it's about what's in front of your camera.
Yep.
So that implies that you have power over the creativity of what you shoot. So if let's say you're shooting events, right? For me okay, this is more of a very practical example. Don't just get all the perfect lighting, then perfect shutter speed, all this kind of stuff. Yes, get them right.
Yeah.
After that, do what? Not more perfect aperture or more perfect light or all this kind of stuff. It's try to get as many different perspectives as possible. Yeah, so you can start thinking about in terms of storytelling. Yeah, we've always seen the front side of things. Why not see the side of it, or see the behind the scenes part of things? Try to always think about the whole big picture, like how much I can cover in that environment or in that event. Yeah. So that is something you can start thinking already. If let's say you are in a team of event photographers, right? Someone's covering that side already, someone's covering that side. Don't stick to them and then cover the same thing,
Oh yeah, I mean that's quite usual. I mean if you do events, right?
Yeah.
Even though you have 4 teams, right? Okay, we're gonna set up. Okay, you go left, I go right, be in the center.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, everybody comes to the center. All take the same photo. Then
So
what's the point of hiring that much of people just to take the one shot?
So practically speaking, to be more creative in that sense, you cover a spot where people usually might not think about it. So I used to run a a small little team in TEDx KL, and TEDx
Ooh,
KL, yeah.
okay.
And I'm they appoint me to be the head of photographer lah. So I manage a team of like 5 to 9 photographers
Wow.
at different events.
Wow.
And most of the time it's like, okay, you cover this, you cover this, you cover this, and let's say I've got my people around at vital spots already, then I can actually do different things. I can actually go backstage and do portraitures with the speakers. So these are the kind of creative things that you can think about lah. I feel like, of course, it's not easy to do this. It's not always easy that it naturally comes to you. Hey, I need to shoot something more different, but you practice and go along the way of doing it slowly. Okay, pick it up as much as possible.
Yep.
Okay, so that's the creative part of things lah. But I was just giving examples in event photography, but
Yeah.
they're more.
I mean, it applies to the same team lah, I would say. So I think like probably one of the mistakes we can share in terms of rather than thinking of too technical, don't think about too much technical. Focus, like have an even balance between two. What about your business life? Like, have you done any mistake in terms of business? Because
still doing those mistakes.
yeah, because okay, a little backstory on how we met. I was actually extra. Do you call it extra or lead?
No.
Was it
Your talent.
Okay, sorry, talent. Yeah.
your
so
talent.
a little backstory of how I met these two, Kyle, right? Kyle and Zach. It was actually referred to me by my friend. He just said that he needed a Malay guy. I'm like, bro, I'm not Malay, bro. It's okay. We needed a Malay look-alike. I'm like, okay, fine, okay. So we actually did a job for this company that we don't want to name it.
Yeah, sure.
So and then they are like on the spot. I know that they did some mistakes, and I actually like, if you remember, I told you some of the mistake. I pointed out that mistake. Can you share with us what mistake that I just pointed out?
I think I remember we were talking about contracts or something like that. I think there's more things encompassing just contracts. Of course, contracts will, if you guys don't understand what contracts are, is an agreement.
It's a black and white agreement.
Two parties saying things that they should do and what they shouldn't breach. Shouldn't like backstab people lah.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we did that job, of course, we were still relatively new as a company, but it's still rookie mistake lah. And
you guys were new, is it? Oh, I thought you guys were like a bit like 2 or 3 years running.
No.
Okay.
Do you know how old this company is?
I'm not sure though.
It's not even 2 years old.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, serious.
Oh, this is just like baru open.
Well, not more than 2 years old, but more than 1 year old lah.
Wow,
that
dude!
kind of
I
stuff
thought legit like looking from the cabinets and everything. Right? I thought legit like it was like 2 years running, 2 to 3 years running.
Oh, well, thanks for thinking.
Okay,
of it
not
that way,
bad, guys.
but okay lah.
Don't judge a book by its cover there.
Wait. Again lah, I like to say that a lot of what we have right now is luck.
Yep.
And I'm always like, I hate to say this, but I'm always afraid that we'll run out of luck. Yeah, so I try to compensate back with actual skills,
Yeah, because I don't feel like luck plays in the matter, because I've seen your work, I've seen Zach's work, how determined he is. Zach, if you guys listening, he's his business partner, and he'll be covering in the next podcast because he cannot make it today. He's in a very big ass production somewhere in Malaysia.
Right.
But yeah, like I've seen your work. I believe you have the skill set, but it's just don't consider yourself as a luck lah. It's just that you were in the right place in the right time and you took action.
Yeah.
That's a different mindset.
That's one way to look at it positively.
Yeah, I mean, if you say you've run out of luck, right? You will say, oh, that means 10 years of running, you just depended on luck rather than your own skill set.
I might say so.
see. So okay lah, like in terms of coming back to the business mistake, like anything you can share about that?
Okay, so we were talking about contracts, right? And I think that for our company, I hope that other companies are actually very mature enough to not make any more rookie mistakes.
Okay.
But I feel like it's possible for even experienced people to make rookie mistakes at times. So it's always keeping you at your own toes lah. All this kind of contractual stuff or legal stuff or agreements or to make certain systems that will kind of protect your behind, right? they should be implemented as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And when looking back at my own company, it's like there are still certain things that we haven't done. Those kind of stuff, try to settle as soon as possible.
Okay.
Like if you're talking about contracts, right, then come up with a contract template.
Yeah. So if you guys want it, there will be a link in the description. Just take it, download it, use my own contract. And then
Okay. So it comes from Vin.
yeah,
the
but
resource comes from
just change a little bit because that contract was for a video service. So if you want to change it for your own, just the terms and condition will be there. Just change your own terms and conditions.
Okay. So that's all the systemic stuff that will protect you legally or somewhat legally. But I want to talk about something bigger. It's like understanding your own value as a company or as a business person or even as a freelancer.
Yeah, even freelancers. I believe that even freelancers, right, they are their own business. They are the brand, the face of their own business.
Yes.
So I think I don't give alasan that I'm a freelancer, I don't need to have a contract. But if you work for a big company like the company that you worked with, you didn't have a contract. So regardless, big or small, you like people who are listening, right, you really need a contract because it's like more of a black and white. Printed down, signed, agreed on.
Yeah.
So that later on, in the future, you won't get like a lot of problems. Because probably I can share a problem just faced during at the end of MCO. Is that in the contract stated that all raw files belongs to the company. That is the intellectual property of the company. So it's stated there and signed by the owner of the company. So few days later, after the RMCO ended, right? The second owner of the company requested for the raw files just to send everything for free because their reason is that we actually paid for you that means all the videos you shoot belongs to us but I have to be like very clear with them. I told them since your co-owner signed this, so I believe that this message can be relayed to you, but sadly it didn't. So I showed the contract that said you didn't pay for the raw files, you paid for the final footages. So he was like a bit pissed
Of course.
Okay, so you have to understand, I'm not saying bad things, but people who's older age, right, they don't tend to understand what they are doing. So I need to like really educate them. But at the end of the day, they really wanted the footage. So we came into a conclusion, okay, you have to pay for the whole footages. But sadly, I know for the fact, right, they can't play the footage because everything was shot in 4K, 10 bits. So imagine playing that in a normal laptop, right? You can't even view anything. So that was the problem I faced, but they came back to me and said that, hey, why some footages cannot play? And I was, at the same time, right, when I sent the footage, I signed another contract as well, stating that all footage as it is. I told them, okay, this is ungraded. I put all the technical terms which they don't understand it. They just signed it. And then when they came back to me and they asked me like, why some footage cannot play and why is it so grainy? Like, some drone footages, right? Like the ungraded one. Like that. It's like, what's it? I cannot use like, I stated in the contract that this is like this. You need like a proper system. I even put like system requirement. That's how detailed.
That's good. That's very good.
That's how detailed I was. Like, so they agreed to it. Like, okay, I agree. I read everything. So they just, okay, I just signed it. If you want me to like come back, give you an MP4 format, I need to re-edit everything, convert everything. So that'll be another charges. So we're like, like that. Okay, never mind. I try. Thank you.
And that's good. You totally protected your behind. Yeah. So it's like.
I mean, that's a good story for.
That's totally professional. I would put it that way. Of course, people will feel a bit offended.
So I mean, that's the outcome of 5 years of doing freelancing and a lot of fucking mistakes. Because truth be told, I've been scammed a lot of money from big companies as well. Like total up to I think at the moment total up to 10,000.
Fuck. Okay.
I mean, if you're doing freelancing, 10,000 is a freaking big money.
You can buy a fucking camera already.
Yeah, I know, right? You can buy the new Sony A7. But yeah, I mean, I've learned from the mistake, and I don't want to go through that feeling again, of feeling being neglected, undervalued.
Yeah.
So I believe, I know this one, not most people will do it because as a creative, right, we want to focus on creating the craft.
But it usually becomes our own problems. It's like we focus on working on the best quality work possible, but we forgot that to give the best quality work, it should come with a price tag too. And we just wanted to move things forward, and we couldn't agree on a term that both sides would win. I'm not saying that screw all the clients that don't give you actual good money that you deserve.
Yep.
But there are times where people just undervalue themselves to a point where it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
And
they just give up on the dream and then, do something else.
Yeah. So I think like it's a game. So in order to kind of like reach the end of the game, you need to know the rules a little bit. Okay. And after you know the rules already, you can stylistically play however you want. So some people don't know the rules and then they kind of like, oh, I want to do this cool thing right here and they kind of just fall because then they're bounded by the rules, yet they don't understand it.
Yep, that's true.
So I think coming back to undervaluing and actually valuing your work, that's very important. Once you don't know the value of your work, right, it becomes unsustainable, which I'm already repeating myself.
So guys, if you really want to look for contract or even invoices, right, there'll be a link in the description. Just download it.
It's gonna give you all the resources to start a business.
It's not everything like just the proper paperwork because it took me like I think 1 to 2 years of studying the company to really like. I'm not very good in typing like proper words, right? So I actually begged my copywriter friends like, can you please check all the contract? Is it professionally said all this nonsense? Then, okay, so I like if you want it, just go download it and then use it for your own business, regardless it's a small or big.
Yeah. So one day you just try to belanja him copy back.
Copy like very good copy. Right now, guys, belanja me like very nice copyright.
Okay.
So let's go to the last mistake, like the most thing they should be avoiding.
Okay, photographer, right? And this mistake, I think it's more on the advanced part of things, or at least when you kind of have a career already, right? Yeah. So I've been listening to a lot of podcasts from other photographers too, and other creatives. One important thing they recommend is, even though you're doing clients' work, you're doing commercial work, don't forget about your own work.
Yep.
Yeah. So
it means
of course,
your own branding,
your own branding, or your own style. Don't forget that voice that is inside of you that everyone kind of have.
Yep.
If you're a robot, then I don't know what to say.
I don't think no one's a robot listening
Okay. So for example, like for yourself, right? You're doing this podcast, and it's agreed that no one gets paid. There's no money involved.
Disclaimer guys, I'm not paying these people to there's no sponsorship involved. I wish there was involved but there's no sponsorship involved. I'm doing this out of my own pocket money.
We're looking at you, Squarespace.
No, I think Malaysia is like we're looking at you, Wings.
Choose your
okay.
your sponsors. That kind of stuff lah.
Yeah.
So there are personal work out there that don't necessarily get paid, but these are the things that actually get you your work in the future, because people don't see the kind of technicality wise, you're replaceable in a sense.
Yep.
Yeah. So if let's say again, I got the best, the perfect shutter speed, and the perfect aperture, the perfect ISO, right? Someone else can do it too.
Yep.
The thing is, if you can shoot something very, very unique that you've developed, or at least within your own region that only they can only get you, then you kind of pioneer your stance onto this whole style, or maybe people love you for your personality or the personality in your work. That kind of stuff is like, for example, let's say I want to develop a style. I want to make sure each and every one of my portraiture has some sort of action going on. The model is like, even though I'm shooting a headshot, but I kind of know the model is jumping. Or when I'm shooting events, there's the climax of an action that is always presented in your work.
A certain look to your photos.
Yeah. So you want that. You actually want that. So when people see your work, it's like, oh man, this is so different. Let's at least try him out. At least you get a chance.
It's a good thing. It's like similar to having a niche. Not sure about photos because I haven't tried it. But having a style, look, a team, so that I approach you for that. I don't it's like football lah. Like I don't know you watch football or not, but
I don't.
It's like
I'm
football.
sorry.
Okay, do you know Messi or Ronaldo?
Those are like household names, lah. I know.
So if let's say you want to buy Ronaldo or Messi, right? You don't buy them to change their way of playing. You buy them because they play like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Something
yes.
like that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's the same thing to photography. Like you hire them because of the style of photos you like and you want it to capture in your own photos, lah.
Yeah. And you only can develop. I won't say you only, lah, but majority of the time you can only develop these personality skills and styles, right? Is when you do your own work.
Yep.
Yeah, at your own free time.
Yep.
And hopefully you love your style to begin with. Like don't like I develop a style because some fella over there asked me to. That's the way you should do it. Then you're kind of like doing his thing already.
Yeah.
So yeah, develop your own voice, develop your own style that you can really proudly call it your own.
I mean, like what Kyle added back is that sometimes doing your own content will get you jobs as well. So I want to share a story last week, which I closed a client. Okay, so if you guys don't know me yet, because I do property videos as well, that's another company that I run. So this agent approached me and decided to work with me for these two reasons. So disclaimer that she was approached by two other videographers, so total 3.
Yep.
So I actually like, every time I close, I will always ask a feedback like, hey, why do you decided to talk to me and why decided to start working with me? Because I want to understand what is the trigger factor that they want to work with me. So that if let's say majority are saying the same thing, I will keep doing it. So if you guys don't know, I have another channel called Property Video Rockstar. That's where I put all my real estate videos and real estate teaching as well. So what I do is that I focus on real estate video. So I put everything there one. And I also teach real estate agent how to shoot videos with their own, regardless they have a phone or camera, just a simple tactics that they can shoot. Because you have to understand real estate agent, most of them they can't afford like a very big ass production, video production. Only like a few percentage can afford, but most of them they can't afford. So it's my duty for them to like give simple tricks to just shoot videos, because right now video is not optional, it's mandatory already in terms of real estate marketing lah. So I asked the question is that why do you pick me? Oh, because first I do real estate video. I'm focusing on the real estate video. That means it's my niche and I have a certain style to it. So the other two videographers, they were like doing events, doing product photography, this and that. So they won't focus on one thing when they show the portfolio to the agents. And the second thing is that this is what actually made her decided to work with me, is because I teach. So that's the keyword, guys. I teach real estate agent how to shoot videos. So that gives like credibility for her to like believe me that I'm an expert in what I'm doing.
Yeah, it gives you authority, right?
Yeah, authority. So to be fair, she even didn't complain of the script I wrote for her or the storyboard. She was like, okay, good, I do for you. That's like the best client you want, no changes to your own story, So that's the reason why you should be doing your own content lah. So I get like you have to understand why Kyle saying this as well, because sometimes this can be a factor of decision making for the client to like how to say, like approve you, get the job done for you lah.
Yep.
So yeah. So like those were the common 3 mistakes. Just to recap, the first mistake is that don't always think about technical. Have a certain balance between technical and having a proper picture style.
Yep.
Yeah. And second thing is that make sure you have a proper contract, like a black and white.
Yeah. And then we talk about values as well.
Yeah. So have your own standard, like in the contract, state your value as well. Remember your value. Don't charge like 100 ringgit, 50 ringgit for a biggest project. Don't destroy the market, guys, please. Don't destroy the market for us. But yeah, remember your value. If you start charging 1,000, we can start charging 10,000 lah.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, let's do that.
They don't ruin the market.
Yeah.
So if you want contracts, there will be a link in the description. And last thing is that
if you want to start a contract with him, you can do that too.
Yeah. So last thing is that if you guys do your own content, make sure that even though you do client works, but do your own content, because this might be a decision maker for getting the job as well lah. Because most people think of you as an authority figure, so you have that power to do whatever you want. This is what we all want it.
Just adding on to the last point there, like if you're just a photographer, right, and then doing his own thing, and you have a lot of work, but So one thing I can sort of brag is that
Yeah.
I can say I'm a photographer lecturer too.
He teaches, he
Yeah,
teaches.
so I, in a way, it does, the association does lend you more authority, it does give you more credibility,
Okay.
and it makes it much more easier. So if you are just a photographer, if you want to land, like, let's say, food related jobs, then you can say, I'm actually a cook too, or you want to explore into that. I feel like more associations kind of like tagged onto what you want to do will help you out.
Okay. All right. So, anything you want to add up before we end this podcast to the people who's listening to up and coming creatives?
Just wear more mask when you go out.
Follow SOP, guys. I think by the time, let's say in the future, let's say the coronavirus ended, just stop wearing mask, but be safe, be sanitized.
Yes, I hope so.
Yeah, and always, guys, remember to put your work out there, lah. Just don't be like a mysterious photographer covering his face. At the end of the day, right, even though it's photo, right, people trust people. They don't trust work. At the end of the day, this is what this is my philosophy.
I make those mistakes sometimes.
Yeah, so I've seen a lot of photographers up and coming. They only show the photos only. They don't show themselves. So remember, show yourself, lah. Because just remember these 3 words: people trust people.
That's fair. Yeah.
Alright, guys, so hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Hope you guys found this valuable. And as always, if you want to follow Kyle, I'll put his social media links in the description below. And as well as, does Dome have a YouTube studio?
You can find it. You can
go check out their very awesome series called Chasing the Galaxy, is it?
Searching Infinity.
Searching Infinity. It's a super cool channel.
It's kind of old. It's back in 2018, but I think there's still some value.
2 years ago, only ma. So, but it's a very good series, so go check it out. I'll put the links in the description as well. And if you want to check out more podcasts, pop up somewhere in Kyle's face right now. Just click into it, and then more episodes will be there for you to learn more creative stuffs and how to make this as a career as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and go out there, discover, connect, inspire, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Ciao.